And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone, coming at you live on this beautiful corona-free day. Today is Monday, June the 29th at 5:32 in the morning. How are you doing? Let me readjust this a little bit. There we go. So, I had some common sense knowledge today that I didn't really put together when I realized that I kind of had an oh shit moment. Not in a bad way, okay? Here's what I'm getting at. I had just a random thought about how much people hate police. The majority of police, let me rephrase that. The majority of people, when they think of police, they think of something bad. And here's what I kind of realized. The reason why is because every time someone ever sees a police officer, if they're ever pulled over by one, it's because you were doing something wrong. If they ever see one in the public, it's because they were doing something wrong. Or somebody called them because something bad happened. So if there was a person's face or a certain uniform that every time something bad happened, this uniform showed up, it would be pretty easy to start to tell yourself, gosh, whenever there's police, it's something bad. And guess what? Generally that's true. But the problem is people actually associate with them being bad people. It's stupid. It's common sense, but it makes sense. I mean, think about it like this. If you're married or if you're in a relationship or something, okay, you could say, oh, who's the person that you love the most? And you might say, oh, your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. Just trying to give you an example, okay? And then not to go as extreme because you want a true answer, I wouldn't say hate. I wouldn't say who do you hate the most, okay? But if I said, who do you have the most amount of disagreements with in your personal life? Just due to proximity. The person you have the number one conflict, 99.99%, is almost always going to be with your spouse, girlfriend, significant other, whatever. Because you always have to make decisions together. And unlike friends, I hate to say it, but unlike friends, most friendships are passive when it comes to decision making because they're all good ideas. But in a weird way, in relationships, that doesn't seem to always be the case. And I mean always, I'm going to say 99.99% of all relationships, it's option A or it's option B, and they are not similar at all, okay? If you want to go out back before all the theaters closed to see a film or something like that, right? You might want to watch action, they might want to watch a romantic comedy. There is no blend between the both of those, but you compromise. And that's on a small scale. You're still going out, right? You're still doing something. What if it's a restaurant? One person says Chinese, another person says Italian. It goes on and on. And that won't even be a contention point. That won't even be like a point of mentioning. But later on in the conversation, in the evening or something like that, it might be a stupid little petty comment, about, hey, eating that Chinese food, saying how much some Italian would be good right now, then it's like, oh, what the hell? Come on, seriously? You know what I mean? I'm not talking necessarily out of personal experience. I think everybody's been there in a relationship when you've chosen A and you wanted to go with B on a date. But generally, you don't care. But the difference is, if you're with friends, even if you mention it, it won't be taken as personal. All right? So all I'm getting at is it's easy to see why people have a bad view of police. In the exact way, it's easy to see why the person that you would have the number one most amount of conflict with, just due to proximity and the fact that you see that person most frequently, is your spouse or significant other or something like that. And there was no event. I didn't get pulled over by the police. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. It just sort of dawned on me. And I had a oh shit moment where I was like, oh shit, that's random. That's completely true. And then as I was sort of going down that hole of thought, I started realizing as far as relationships go, the number one reason, it's, how sometimes you might have an idea, a broad idea about something, and then you apply it outward. Maybe I don't have a clue, but that's what I do. To other circumstances and stuff like that. But anyway, regardless. So, just kind of wanted to point that out. aside from that, the world is still on fire. Nothing has changed. But I'm staying consistent with my video channel / MP3 channel. You know what I mean? Streaming, YouTube, Spotify, Spotify. Well, you know what I'm getting at. You know, iTunes, the whole jive, whole 9 yards. But yeah, I'm just trying to be consistent and trying to work. You know, when everything was 100% closed down, I completely solely focused on just writing new comedy. That was it, just writing new comedy. That was it, because that was all I could really do. And now it got to the point of where I could actually kind of start to work on comedy externally and start to go out to places and everything. But everything closed again, so back to square one. You know, I honestly feel like in some aspects, working on material that is continued from other material that I have worked on would potentially be detrimental, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to continue writing. I'm just going to continue to write and work on undeveloped stuff that I hadn't begun to structure or work on. I got to stay active. I got to stay productive, because what really makes champions is what you do in the off season. And I understand there isn't a tournament of comedy. This is my life. That and jiu-jitsu. You know, I have other aspects, of course, right? I'm a friend to some, a husband to one. But dynamically, in my personal, me, myself, life, because I haven't been going out and doing comedy, I've been more focused on jiu-jitsu. So, I hate to say it, but nothing but good has come out of this whole thing, because I really found myself as far as my voice goes and who I am, and contextualizing my thoughts, and a whole technical aspect of me doing comedy and whatnot. And again, like I said, when I apply it in one things, I apply it in others. So then I use that philosophy, so to speak, in my jiu-jitsu, and it's paid tenfold. It's made the biggest world of difference. So anyway, with that being mentioned, sorry, there's a license plate with all 9s across the license plate. Kind of just caught my attention. But anyway, what else is going on? I'd rather end it short and have more than one video and have me just rambling about nothing after making some solid points. So I might just, I'm going to end this now. I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your day. And keep your head up. Seriously, guys, just keep your head up. It'd be great, like I always say, to interact with people and hear what they have to say, or their thoughts, or what they're going through, and just be more interactive to people who listen to this. I know I have people listening from all across the world. But it'd be great. It would be great to have some feedback and just say hi, or just learn a little bit about, or whatever else. So if you got absolutely any question about anything in your life, I will I keep saying this, but it still hasn't been done. Whenever that happens, somebody emails me, I will anonymously respond back in the next video. You don't even have to have your name in it. There, you can keep it anonymous all on your own, just like that. Just as long as you send me an email. I won't even say your email. But the point is to basically, if you have a problem, to be able to, in a funny way, respond back by roasting the shit out of your problem, followed by giving you a legitimate, good answer. Okay? Who am I to give advice? You know what? That's your decision, because if it turns out being good, who knows? Who knows? You know? I try to keep my opinions to myself, but if you're asking if I can be of some assistance, I definitely will. You know? I feel like to some degree, anyone that has to, they would ever give advice would have to have pretty diverse life experience, because there's so much that could happen in life. And I hate to say it, but everything from close calls, not just the military, but living in Europe, close calls meaning like really dangerous situations that just happened. Living in Europe a few times, which I'm not going to get into now because they're actually stories I say in comedy, which are really, really good. But hey, buddy, stop sign, pay attention. Look at these guys, you know. Lived all around the world, speak a few languages, have a pretty diverse background, Army vet, you know. But I'm just a guy. Just a guy that's working on moving forward, always. So, if this progressive, productive Army vet, world-traveled, and had shit tons of experience in the dating universe prior to being shackled down and having a wife and everything else, if you want to hear a word of advice, or just say hi, send me an email. It's Benja, Benja, which is short for Benjamin, and then Welldone, like the words together, WELLDONE @gmail.com. One day it'll happen. And the idea is once I do it once, ideally, once I share it, it'll add an element to my channel. It'll help you. And it'll be like a seed that's planted that brings about other seeds. You know what I mean? More plants, etc., etc. And it'll just multiply. So, with that being mentioned, hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your day. I am Benja Welldone. Have a great week and a happy 4th of July. For now, I'm out. Peace.